The gender problem in football has recently gotten much better. However, ever since football started, women have been discriminated and it has been frowned upon them playing the sport. The reason that there is a gender problem in football is because women traditionally did not play the sport, and it hasn't been seen as okay for them to play until very recently. The reason for that is that it was only men who used to go to schools, and when football became a sport that was played, women were not at school, so they did not play games against other schools or inter-house games. Women did not play any sports, in fact, and seen to only learn to sew and cook. People never really got out of this tradition, and many people still believe that women shouldn't compete in sport and that they should do house chores instead and learn to sew. However, these days we now know that is sexist. Today, women are still paid very unfairly compared to men. However, a reason for this is because many more people watch the men's game and it is on television more than the women's game, even though that this seems sexist. The reason that the men's game is televised more is because there are more viewers that want to watch it. A reason for this, however, is because there's a lot more advertisement put into the men's game, and there's a lot more competition in the men's game. For example, the Premier League is the main focus on the sport, and the men's Premier League is televised every week, whereas the women's game, only a couple games a week will be televised. Another reason why the men's game is seen as being better football is because the youth system is set up very differently compared to the women's. In the men's youth setup, there are usually 10 teams in each league, ranging from Mid Sussex League to East Sussex League. Whereas the women's game, there'll be maybe 3 or 2 teams in the county, so they'll have to go to other counties to play a game, as there's a lot less women or girls playing the sport. This will discourage them to play as they find it long and boring travelling to the games, and they don't want to do that as it's unenjoyable for them. Also, some parents don't want their little girl to play football as they think it's unladylike, and they don't believe that women should play sport. Even the female parents do this as they want to bring up their little girl. One reason a girl might be discouraged to play football is because her friends don't at school, and if she did play, she might get bullied for it, or she might be looked at differently, and she might want to follow the crowd, as in the way that she wants to be doing what her friends are doing. These days, the female game has become a lot bigger, and it is now starting to be televised and put in the papers. A couple years ago, Lewes FC was the first club to bring in equal wages for women and men. This has started a revolution in the sport. This means that now women will start to be able to make a life out of playing the sport, and they will not need a part-time job to get them through the week. This has had a positive effect as now parents are seeing that female football is getting a lot more money now, and they will allow their child to play as they know that they might be able to make a living out of the sport, unlike 10, 15 years ago when players would not make very much money at all. For the future, I believe that the women's game should become televised more and it should be advertised more so that it brings in more money. This means that it'll become bigger, more people will want to watch it. Having explored this contemporary issue, I believe that within the next 10 to 20 years, it will not be an issue as it's moved so fast so quickly and it's not a big problem at the moment. And the female Premier League players now make enough money to make a living.